Edgar Allan Poe was born in Boston on the 19th of January in the year 1809. He was born into a family of traveling actors and he was the second of three children. After about 3 years of him being born, his parents passed away. He was then adopted by a wealthy tobacco merchant who lived in Richmond, Virginia. He was separated from his siblings because of them moving to different families. While his foster father, John Allen, urged Poe to be a businessman, Poe had plans to become a writer because of his childhood inspiration, Lord Byron, who was a British poet. In 1826, Poe enrolled into the University of Virginia. During his university life, Poe excelled in classes but was collecting a large amount of debt. His foster father had only given him less than a third of the money he required, so Poe turned to gambling to cover some of the costs. He had to return home because he couldn't continue studying due to his financial problems. While he was home, he visited his fiancée, Elmira Royster, but only discovered that she had become engaged to another man. Poe was heartbroken. Poe was holding a grudge against his foster father because of the financial situation and was unable to bear living with him. So he moved out and began a journey to become a great poet. Poe joined the army in 1827. He also published his first book around that time. Poe began to attend West Point, a military school, in 1830. Poe exceeded with his studies at West Point, but was kicked out after 1 year for not being able to handle his duties correctly. After getting kicked out, Poe focused on his writing full-time and was moving to different locations all the time. From 1831 to 1835, Poe stayed in Baltimore with his Aunt Maria Clem and her daughter, Virginia. Virginia was Poe's young cousin, but she was also his love interest. Poe married Virginia in 1836 when she was only 13 years old. Poe returned to Richmond in 1835. He began working for a magazine called the Southern Literary Messenger. He became known as a very harsh critic and always wrote vicious reviews of his contemporaries. Unsatisfied with his pay, Poe had stopped working for the magazine. Throughout the late 1830s, Poe was creating a new genre of detective fiction. In 1843, he won a literary prize for The June Bug, which was a suspenseful tale of secret codes and hunting treasure. In 1847, Poe's beloved Virginia passed away. Poe was overcome by grief and began to suffer from poor health. His final days remain a mystery. On October 3rd of 1849, Poe was found in Baltimore in great distress and was taken to Washington College Hospital. He remained in the hospital for 4 days and finally died on October 7th. His final words were, "Lord, help my soul." Poe's actual cause of death still remains a mystery and has sparked controversy. There are many theories as to how he died. Some say he died from alcoholism, while others say rabies or epilepsy. Alone was written in 1829. In that year, Poe's foster mother, Frances Allen, had died, who Poe had been very emotionally attached to. Alone is often interpreted as an autobiographical, because it expressed Poe's feelings of isolation and inner torment. The poem reflected on Poe's youth. The poem showed that since youth, Poe was different, left out, not able to fit in, and was full of sorrow. This poem is a way for Poe to compare himself to those who are happy and live normal lives, while he is full of sorrow and is very different.
From my childhood's hour I have not been, as others were I have not seen, as others saw I could not bring, my passions from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken, my sorrow I could not awaken, my heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tin of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of the heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.
Title. The title alone seemed to me at first that it would be a sad poem, and maybe even desperate for hope or help. Paraphrase. From childhood's hour I have not been, as others were I have not seen. From a young age, Poe had been different, so here he is in a way talking about himself at a younger age. As others saw, I could not bring my passions from a common spring. He couldn't express himself or allow himself to show what he was passionate about. He didn't connect much with that what was around.
From the same source I have not taken my sorrow I could not awaken.
Sorrow. The word itself means pain, distress, and agony. Due to this, he could not open up inside. My heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Anything he felt comfort in or safe with or loved, he would only feel this way about it because of how differently he saw the world. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn. Dawn symbolizes illumination and hope on a stormy life. The stormy is the contrast to his hope, and this means his hope was taken away when he began to have hope. From every depth of good and ill are opposites, and here Poe is portraying that something comes from the end of both these terms. The mystery which binds me still, the question that he is still confused by. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the fast-moving stream of water or the natural spring of water, searching high and low, trying to solve the mystery of his own life. From the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm. Here Poe is expressing how much time is passing by while searching for answers as to why he is different and miserable. He doesn't know why he lives or exists. The thunder symbolizes the flash of time, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in view. Here he seems to be blaming a power from a spiritual level, almost as if he blames a higher power for how he is when referring to the demon. When he writes, "and the cloud that took the form," shows he's unsure of what's going on and why he's suffering. And another point is the demon could be Poe expressing how he sees himself.
Connotation. And the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. Here he looks back at his childhood and some clouds and sees a demon in a cloud. Poe expresses his emotions of how unique he was his whole life. He expresses his distress with the use of metaphors and imagery. Poe also uses diction to express a very melancholy feeling. Attitude. The attitude or tone in this poem is a very sorry feel. Poe portrays loads of emotional pain throughout the whole poem. Shift. Then in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn. Here Poe shifts from hope and illumination with dawn into darkness and regret with the storm. He is drawn from ever having a normal childhood, and so here is the shift. Title. Yes, indeed this poem is a sad poem that expresses the pain that Poe went through and was probably meant to help him and his readers find a way of expressing what was going on through his mind and readers like him.
Theme. With trauma and sorrow comes realism, therefore creating a sense of wisdom.
From childhood's hour I have not been, as others were, I have not seen, as others saw. I could not bring my passion from a common spring. From the same source I have not taken. My sorrow I could not awaken. My heart to joy at the same tone, and all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life was drawn. From every depth of good and ill, the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm, and the cloud that took the form, when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view.